Today, we're building a new high-speed transport hub on the edge of the city. Central Station is starting to struggle. High-speed trains are getting caught behind local services and cargo traffic. So rather than forcing everything through the same place, we're going to give those trains their very own terminal. That means a high-speed station, a new depot, a better approach into the city, and a new district all around it, with office towers, pedestrian plazas, and a few attractions to make the area feel like somewhere people would actually use. But before we get there, the rest of the rail network needs a bit of attention. Last time we built the new metro line, and today we're going to tidy up some of the gradients, then extend the metro onto line 2, which nobody asked for, but it gives us a useful connection into the new terminus. Welcome back to Sunny Isle. In the last episode, quite a few of you had something to say about our new metro line, specifically just how steep parts of it were. Now, my first instinct was to assume you'd all spotted one or two problem areas and we'd make a few adjustments. But your comments have sent me down a rabbit hole into real-world railway engineering, where I discovered that gradients matter a lot more than I realised, and it really does depend on the type of network. And the timing couldn't be better because Luca's network tool mod now lets us measure the gradient of tracks across the city. For the first time, we can actually see how steep our metro, regional rail and high-speed lines really are. So that's our mission today. We're going to audit the entire rail network, find out where the biggest problems are and start fixing them. Okay, so the first thing that we need to fix is of course this crazy drop down into the ground here. If we go into our network tools and then head to the slope tools and we select the first point by the station and then select the point just outside the tunnel here, we can get a slope of around about 7.2, which is much better than what we had before, but it's still pretty bad. The reason why I avoided having a constant slope through here is because we've got Forest Street, which runs alongside this hospital, which will end up being cut off if we make this slope a little bit more gradual. But I think that's what we'll have to do to make this a little bit more realistic. At the moment, 7.2 isn't going to cut it. So if we zoom out a little bit and find the underground station in Ruby Plaza, and we'll get around about 5.3, which I know isn't ideal. We want this to be going to around about 4 to 5. We won't use the constant slope. Let's use the in and out to make it a little bit more gradual, 10% on each side. And that gives us around about 5.3 to 5.5. And again, it's not ideal, but it's going to be good enough. So we'll apply that to the slope and we'll have to take a look to see what issues that's caused. We'll take a closer look at Forest Road and see if that needs adjusting as well. But before we do that, I want to place down the track on the other side. And I want this to run parallel to the existing metro. So let's go back into Luca's network tool and select parallel tool. And then let's have a look at selecting the metro track as the asset to place down. And then we simply just need to select a starting point and an end point. We'll adjust the horizontal offset. And with everything looking present and correct, let's create the parallel network. This is looking pretty good and it's almost connected to the train station. It's slightly off, so we are going to have to replace this with a complex curve. And I can see that we've got some lumpies and bumpies that we need to sort out here next to this pedestrian path. And even though this looks like a little bit of a scar on the landscape, it comes with the development of the city. As it becomes more dense, it's becoming more difficult to get around by car or by bus. And with the new metro system, people can get from one side of the city to the other very quickly and very affordably as well. And I'm still seeing many people using the metro system and so much less traffic on the roads. So I think it is a big win for the future of the city, although it is a little bit destructive. And then over here, we will need to remove this road because it is far too low down. And we could probably still keep a pedestrian access point at this side, but for cars, it's just not good enough. So let's go ahead and clean this little section up, and then we'll add a few details here, and it should be good to go. Okay, that's looking really nice, very lush. And I always like to add a few of these little bushes in the nooks and crannies of these little networks, because you can imagine how difficult it would be to maintain these areas. And they're just going to grow really wild, especially in a humid climate like Sunny Isle. And this is looking pretty good. We've got the little walkway down here now. Lots and lots of people using this as a little shortcut. Nice little spot there. We do have this clipping, which is a little bit annoying. I think it's because this hospital asset may be a little bit too high. If I lower it down, it does go away, but I've got to be careful that we don't lower it too much, because I think this is, yeah, you can see this is the entrance where the ambulances come through. I wonder if we use the network tool. So if we create a node there and then use move it, and if we set it to the same height as the hospital, that should, in theory, allow the ambulances to come out a lot easier. What we could do is we could have a little peep through this hole, and yeah, I can see that the curb is much better, much lower down now. I know that the metro tracks at the back might not be the most ideal location, but I'd imagine most of the patients are at the front wing, and then at the back here is perhaps where some of the offices or some of the administration can be. And I think with that small change, that really completes the track through here. And it makes it much more of a feature of the city rather than an eyesore. And it's a little bit of a wonky bridge, but I think it works just fine. Okay, so I've gone through the entire build and I've checked every single track using the slope tools from the network tools mod. It turns out everything that we've got is within a reasonable range, anywhere from 0.2% to 3% max, I think. Even this ramp here, which I thought would be a lot steeper, is fairly reasonable. If we just select the top node and then the bottom one here, you can see that it's 2.1%. which is a lot less than I thought it would be. Through here, we've got a single line that goes across the river here, and then it splits into two directions. One that takes you to South Bay and then onto Marlow Cove. It's also one of our cargo routes that goes all the way around the island and heads to the port on the other side. And then it splits where we got the high-speed train. But I've never really been comfortable with the way that this high-speed train track is shared with regional and cargo trains, and down here it does get heavily congested, and I don't think it is reasonable to expect high-speed trains to be waiting around for local and cargo trains to come through. So I've been thinking of splitting it up. In addition, Tygon, the creator of Tygon's rail infrastructure mod, has introduced a new network type. This is a high-speed train track, 500 kilometers per hour. And if we have a close look at this, it's got this really nice texture on it. And I think it might be worth updating the high-speed train that we've got in the city to use this new track, and also introduce some new high-speed rolling stock, which have been recently added to the PDX mod store. At the moment, the high-speed train stops at our central station down in the center of the city. But again, I've never really felt comfortable with it stopping here, since it's an international route, and I don't think this building has the facilities to cater for border control, as well as domestic journeys. So I think today we're going to build a brand new high-speed station. And I've been thinking about where to put this, and ideally I would want it central, but I think that would cause quite widespread destruction, and the city has experienced a lot of that lately. Instead, I'm going to be inspired by the development of many of London's major train terminals and place it on the outskirts of the existing city, and then as the city grows around the new station, it will become more central. And we've got the high-speed train track coming through here. It goes over the river. We'll split it off and make a dead end. I think we'll put the stop down here near the cricket grounds. We've got a local station that we can connect up with regional trains. We also have a tram that passes through, which is conveniently coming along the road. And I think we could bring up the second metro line to make a direct connection to the high-speed train. And this high-speed train comes all the way through here. It goes underneath this mountain and then across this viaduct and out of the map. And I think that journey will be a lot faster than having to come all the way downtown, battle with what is quite a busy rail corridor with very slow trains. Okay, so I've kept the leveling as close to the hill as possible so that we're not having to fill too much land. And it's a similar height to the station we've got over here, so for sure we'll have to make that connection. For this new terminus station, I'm going to be using this DB Oberstdorf station by Revo. This should sit in really nicely along here. And then let's go into our train tracks. We're going to be using the ones with concrete, as I said, and let's see if we can make a nice connection. Let's just select this first one for now, and then let's bring this round and see if we can make this look pretty. We can always fix it, but we can see those concrete tracks look really nice. Now this connection here isn't ideal. We can use node controller to fix that up. Let's just drag these back. Whoa! Okay, let's reset that. And let's push those back, and that looks a lot nicer. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now it might be a little bit uneven, but like I said, we'll fix that up. But yeah, that's really nice the way it just hugs along the side of that building there. We'll make that curved slightly softer, and then those high-speed trains can come in and out much easier. We should have a look at building a dedicated high-speed train depot. And for that, I think we're going to use the compact depot that came with the City Stations Creator Pack. This is quite a nice big asset, but we do need to find a home for it. Somewhere that's not too far away from the main station. And I think somewhere down here where we've got a little bit of land around this farm and connect it up in here, and I think that will be a pretty good spot. If we turn on topography again, and a lot of these farms you can see are pretty ugly, so I'll be quite happy to be replacing them. So that can go in there, and then what we can do is we'll connect it up to the main line, and then maybe add a few new industrial buildings around here, make it look a little bit more developed, and then we'll bring that around here and we'll have trains going directly into the main station here. Okay, so let's go ahead and replace the track all the way up to the edge of the map with that new network, and then we'll start detailing some of these areas up. Now I have connected up both of the sections of the depot so that we can have vehicles from either side of the depot either go onto the high-speed track or go onto the local track, and then that connects up to the main station. Now I think we might need to re-angle this station just a little bit because I do think that curve is a little bit harsh. Now I've just noticed that we've got a dodgy section down here. Try classic move it, shall we? There we go, that works perfectly. No issues there. So we've opened up a lot of land by building this depot, and I think this is a pretty good spot to place down some more industry. In my signature buildings, I really like the look of this athletic wear factory which came with the supply chains DLC, and I think this will fit in perfectly here. Now I'm going to offset it just a little bit so that we avoid some of those homes, but I think somewhere around there will be perfect. We just need to adjust this road a little bit. We've got this transformer station which we can probably keep in the same spot, but this road through here needs adjusting. I've pretty much finished adding all the foliage. I've added this little industrial building here. Looks quite dirty. What are they selling? Wooden timber. Okay, not too bad. We do have a little bit of logging nearby, so it makes complete sense to have that here. And then of course we've got the big athletic wear factory, which we can go ahead and add the upgrade because sales are through the roof and our city is dressed better than ever. So let's get this on top of the building here. It looks like it's going to clash with the train tracks, but I think if we turn on anarchy, yeah, no, it looks fine. There's no issue there. And through here, again, I've not added too many bushes. I don't want to obscure the signage. I've mostly just obscured it from the highway along here. And then we've made sure to keep the power lines clear of trees. I can see that there is a little bush there that we could move just to make it look a little bit better. And this goes up and over the mountain. I really like the look of that. Okay, so I think this is a pretty cool addition to the city, which I wasn't expecting to do today. But when you start these projects and you start to develop existing networks and place down new assets to support the network, such as the depot, you find yourself in these situations where the opportunity to build something new is too resistible. So let me know in the comments if you enjoy these tangent builds where we hadn't quite planned to put this together, but it came about anyway. Let me know, and let me know what you've worked on in a similar situation, because I'm sure that we're all guilty of it. Let's have a look at the line, and I can see that it's got a weird little connection into that section there. That's because we've disconnected this internal line from the external line, so it's having to do this really weird U shape. So for now, we're going to cancel the train line, or at least delay it, and we're going to temporarily just move it over here and see if it actually fits. So let's just fast forward time and let's see if this is really going to fit. I really don't think it is. Actually, before we do that, let's change it to the new train that I actually want to use. So if we go into the line details here, go into the select carriage model, and I'm looking for the new high-speed trains by Un Maestro. I think he's got them somewhere in here. They're called Ice X. So we've got the 1x6, so I think that will fit. Then we've got the 1x13 and 1x12. So we're currently using the 2x5. So that's 10 carriages. This would be 12 carriages. So we're not going to go for the super big one. Let's see if that one will fit. And let's just turn time on. Unmaestro has developed a baby version, but I would love to have like a large train like this in the city, because if you look at how far that stretches back all the way along the back of the track there, wrapping around the island, I think that's absolutely stunning. But I can just tell you straight off the bat, that ain't gonna fit. So let's pause the game when it reaches into the station and let's explore some of our options. Okay, so I've not been able to find a pre-made station long enough, but I have spotted this train station, which I think is quite interesting. Instead of having to mess around with the terrain, we could have the connection come straight into the back here, and then we can keep a lot of the development around here quite low. But I'm a little bit concerned that the textures might be a little bit broken. Now, it seems to be okay. It does that sometimes, but it quickly loads in. So I think for this line, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use the extra long train. So let's have a look at what we can use instead. And there is a baby version, and I think we'll have to use the baby version. So it's the 1x6 here. We could go for the 1x7. If we go into our path tools and just select the path, and this is 212 meters, I think. 202 meters. So we could go for the not quite baby one, but the second baby one, which is 1x7. And I think that should fit quite nicely. And I think using this station here will fit the vibe of Sunny Isle a little bit better. It's covered. It's probably air conditioned, at least underneath where the shops are. Whereas out here, you're kind of exposed to the elements, which isn't very good. So I'm going to allow the simulation to play a little bit. I'm going to remove this train station, and then we'll have to rebuild this line. And we're seeing a lot of people using this tram stop outside the new high-speed rail station, which is absolutely fantastic. I have been itching to replace these tram assets, so if you've got any suggestions from the PDX mod store, let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. I do think I want to do a big tram overhaul episode coming soon, and clearly we don't have enough capacity on the trams to handle all the people coming through here. And that's why I'm going to be building a metro stop at the high-speed rail. And I did originally place down this old street asset. This is by KJ, and this is absolutely stunning asset, but I just don't think it fits this area. I think that deserves to be downtown somewhere. So I'm going to remove that one, and then let's find a different asset to put in here. And I think this standalone subway interface from Bad Peanut, which is an extension to the City Stations pack. So this doesn't actually come with the DLC. This is available on PDX mods. And I think this one will suit the build a little bit better. It's a little bit more subtle. And I think we could even connect it up at the top here, where we've got better access to the tram station. And actually, no, I do want to keep it down here because we've got the station up at the top. We've got the high-speed rail here. We've got the tram stop there. I want to create a little bit of a business district at the back. So I think if we do have this anywhere, we'll put it in the center of this business district and we'll plop it there. We might need to adjust it once we get the roads in. And then we could create another little plaza area. And I just really like the way this looks. It's come together really nicely. Although the texture of that building keeps breaking a little bit, which is very frustrating. Anyway, for this office district, I've been thinking that with the launch of the high-speed rail reimagined, that the transport department want to also develop a new headquarters. So I'm thinking, let's get a new office building in. And I really like the look of the Shiranui Shimbun head office. And it's not the prettiest building, but I think it could work here. We've got some really nice kind of like wide windows, and it's not too tall. Like if we step back a little bit and say we just place that down, maybe we want to keep the profile quite thin. So we could plop it in there like that. And if we step back and let's turn off topography lines, and it's just small enough that it doesn't dwarf that hill either. But I don't want to stop there. I want to plop down a load of office in this area, make this like a central office district for international customers or international business people. But I also want this to be a little bit of a tourist destination. And up at the top here, we've got the Fire Watch Tower, which for now, I'm just going to remove it and we can replace it with something else. I'm thinking we could create a little bit of a tourist attraction to bring people out here. Now, when I visited South Korea, every single city had one of these observation towers, and it wasn't super accessible either. Like you did have to walk up a hill to then find it. And I think something like that would be really interesting. And you can see that if we just turn off topography lines again, it's just tall enough at the top that you can peek over the hill just a little bit and look at the landscapes in the distance. And my God, doesn't that look absolutely stunning? And if we look at it from this side, you can see the whole of the city. And that tower is just short enough that it isn't obscuring the view. You can see the bridges in the distance, all the little buildings in between. So I think that's going to be a really good fit. So we can create a little bit of a park going up to the observation tower. You can see that it's quite steep. We'll also have to make sure that it's got road access. But I think this area is going to be a great addition on the outskirts of the city. It looks like we might have some issues with this train station. I've just seen it despawning, so I've reassigned the station to the other platform. Unfortunately, I'm seeing people also crossing the track, which isn't ideal. I'm just curious whether this is going to be able to leave properly. It seems to be working okay. That crossover switch is a little bit harsh, so I might have to try fix that somehow. Okay, it's not perfect, but I think it should do. So we've got the train in now. I can see it's clearly over the end of the switch. We still have people crossing over the tracks, but not much I can do about that for now. Yeah, I think this should work. Let me just speed it up a little bit and see if that train comes out without any issues. I'm hoping that we don't have a problem with this asset because there's not much else that I can use which I think could work here. It seems to be fine. Okay, let's get back to fixing up this area. So you can see I've got a bunch of buildings in now. I added this multi-story car park onto the transportation headquarters, which I guess is a little bit ironic since they're in charge of all the public transport in the city. But perhaps they're also in charge of car parking facilities as well. I'm going to go ahead and actually turn it off, turn the parking fee off, because I can't imagine they'll be charging their employees to park in their own headquarter buildings. But this area is looking really interesting. I've extended this road all the way down. It does a little slalom all the way down to the base level. And we've got a few of these cool looking buildings in here. Even this one's got some parking at the bottom. And it's quite a low level high-rise building. Got a nice little medium-sized building here, and then another one at the back here. Might need to scooch that one over just a little bit so it's not overlapping on the path. And there's quite a steep hill on this side here, so can't really build any further into the land. Even these are edging a little bit too close for comfort. Just need to decorate it up now and then also create a connection to our observation tower. And for road access, I might connect up to this road that we've got over by this interchange. This is one that comes in by the tram depot, and it kind of winds its way up the path without being too steep. So we could bring that around the hillside and connect that up, and then we'll create a pedestrian access directly from this neighborhood. I wish we had cable cars or a funicular. That would be amazing. But for now, I think that'll do. I'm also going to go into this subway tool because we need to connect this up. The question is, do we want to add an extra station between the high speed and the central station? I think somewhere along here near the river, or maybe even near the cricket ground. That's probably a little bit too close. Let's have a look at where that track is underground. Okay, so we are going to have to lose one house to plop this in. So let's turn on Anarchy, and I think we'll place that in there. Let's remove the building that was once there. And we're going to also make that road a little bit wider, I think. Let's go into the upgrade tools and make it a little bit more pedestrian friendly. Okay. This is a whole hodgepodge mess, and we'll pop one on there. So it's a nice shady area, and this is quite a suburban stop, but it's not too far away from the main drag. This is the main road that kind of comes through the area. Got a little office district. We've got a bus stop. We've got our little 7-Eleven on the corner. That's super cozy. And I think it's just a good enough distance from the main station to our high-speed station to have a nice little stop in between. So I'm going to grab our subway track and connect that up. Okay, with that connected, goes all the way up to the main station. Let's connect up an actual subway line, and we'll bring that through here, connect that up, and then that can make a stop up here. And we could even take it all the way down to Chinatown, since we do have a platform that's not currently being used here. And then we'll take that back up here, make a stop on the other side of the platform, and that means all 4 platforms are now being used. Now, is that using the right platform? Yes. I keep forgetting that we drive on the left, and so do the trains. So then we'll bring that through here and connect that up. So let's just pause the game quick and make sure that we have this line renamed. So we've got the Samui line, and since we're naming our metro lines after islands, I'm going to call this one Cabo Verde, and I'm going to change this to the generic underground S-Stock. Let's keep this a green color. Okay, so I can see that this train has spawned. It's having some issues with the entrance being blocked, but let's just change this and apply the color. Perfect. And then we need to delete this train because for some reason it's causing issues, and that allows the train to come out. And I did notice that I did actually put the trains on the wrong side, so let's go back into our line tool, and I knew I should have double checked this. Let's change it to green as intended. And here we've got the final picture, the final rendition of our new high-speed neighborhood. But I think all in all, it was definitely worth it. And instead of driving through the city to build a new terminus station downtown capable of supporting new high-speed trains, we've been able to create a new piece of the puzzle that makes up our entire build. And I think this is absolutely spectacular. And if we have a closer look of what we're working with here, we'll start down at the bottom where we've got this tram interface. Now, I did use this double tram stop station because in the future, I imagine this could double up as a little bit of a tram interchange as we develop further inland. At the moment, we've only got the one stop and the tram is coming in now, which is picking up a few passengers. But this whole area is pretty cozy. Yes, the street is quite busy, but it's quite far away from the pedestrian areas. We've got a little waiting area. I added a couple of these taxi stands. Looks like we don't have enough taxis in the city because I don't see any taxis waiting. Oh, we do have a few down here. But what I really like is how much we've integrated pedestrian activity through here. So this connects up to the main city. It allows people from the nearby neighborhood to walk to the station if needed. And it also provides a bit of accessibility for people that are stopping off here and just walking the last mile. Over here we've got a little bit of a shop for people to grab a little snack if they want to. A bicycle storage unit. I don't think anybody's using it. Yeah, it's only got 5 bicycles at the moment, but we don't really have very good bicycle infrastructure in this area. And then lastly, we've got the blinding park, the little playground here. And I have seen in quite a few European cities, they'll have these little playgrounds near these big transport nodes. I think it's a pretty good idea because it's a meeting place for people. Or if you get there a little bit earlier before you're meeting a friend, you might want to take your kid over there and allow them to blow off some steam. And then the station itself is working as intended. I've not seen too many glitches. I've only got one of the platforms being used at the moment, but you can see that we've got plenty of people waiting, so it's been well utilized. I'm not sure how many people we've got actually on the line itself. We've got around about 154 people waiting, and if we have a closer look at the line, there's currently around about 73 people on board the train. It's well utilized, the train is super fast, so it's moving people in and out super quick. I've just noticed that we've got a terrible looking section of track there, so let's go ahead and fix it while we're here. There we go, that looks a lot nicer. And this wraps around to this little central plaza where we've got the mighty office district. So we've got the headquarters for the transport company. The car park is almost full. I'm tempted to put a parking fee on it just to reduce the amount of usage that is seen. But I'm really happy with the way this area is looking. 10 people waiting, but I assume there's a lot more people on the line itself. If we have a look at the line quickly, Cabo Verde, it's got a little bit of use, 51 passengers, but you can see that we've got plenty of people coming and going, so it's proven to be quite popular. And I really like the look of this little plaza. It's really, really nice. We're using some of Sully's planters. Now there's a little bit of a glitch there. I wonder if we can use Move It just to bring that down a little bit. There we go, lovely, nice and fixed. And I've put invisible paths through here, so you will see the odd person walking through here every now and then. I added access up here with one of these old school pedestrian bridges. I know it doesn't look great, but it connects up to the local line. So if you want to get further into the island, head up to Clipstrand, head up to Marlow Bay, you can jump onto the train here and it's easy to get about. And I think the area is looking really, really nice. It's definitely an improvement to what was here before. It was just empty land, didn't have a farm or anything. And then up at the top here, I've started doing a little bit of landscaping. Not too much, just clearing a few of the trees, creating some interesting shapes, adding a little bit of bush, a little bit of shrubbery in some of the open plains. And this observation tower is already attracting a few people. We've got a couple of people wandering around. Again, we've got a couple of lumpies and bumpies that I should fix. But I think for the most part, it's looking pretty good. I'll just extend that path out as well, make that look a lot nicer. And there's probably a restaurant or something inside at the top, but just in case, I did add a little commercial unit so people can buy whatever they need to buy. It's a recreational company. Maybe it's selling experiences, maybe it's selling tours of the city. But if we have a look at that view, isn't that just fantastic? I really like the way this has come together, and I've wanted to use this asset for such a long time, ever since the China asset pack came out. And you can see all across the city, you can see Mont Clementine, and then to the right of that you've got Ruby Plaza, then you've got Reuben, takes you over the river into downtown and into Kaplan. And before we head out, I want to head into our main train station, and I want to update the trains that we've got on this line. So we've got the DMU 3 car and the diesel 4 car, and Tygon got in touch and he recommended that we use a new train. He recommended that we use the generic 197 class. So let's go ahead and select that, and then let's turn these two off. And I want to make sure that we keep the color. So let's copy the color. And let's see if we can find some of these new trains. Okay, I can see that one of the new trains has just come out of the depot there, and it's got some crazy colors. So let's see if we can fix this up. Okay, let's have a look at this train. I think this is a great addition to the city. Thank you very much, Tygon, for recommending it. And I can see these rocking around the city for a long time now. Let's have a look at this one down here. So thank you very much for the recommendation, and thank you very much to all the asset creators for creating such fantastic looking assets for us to play with. What was once an empty part of the city now has a proper reason to exist. The high-speed trains have their own way in, and the station has the beginnings of a distinct district around it, with a new metro line, tram infrastructure and space to grow into the island. It's still too early to know whether this new area is a success, but the structure is there, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it grows. Central Station no longer has to do everything, and I think that's an important change. Sunny Isle now has a second rail gateway and a new part of the city to build around in future episodes. Let me know what you would add here next. I appreciate you following along with this build today, and as always, take care and goodbye.